Hey y'all, welcome to You Are Nature. Thanks for coming out to move with me. Today we have a nice movement practice that will show your joints and your tissues some love. Perfect for active recovery days or any day that you really just want to give back to your body. We'll start out in a kneeling position with some arm rotations and neck rotations. Sweeping your arms in full range of motion with strength. You're going to breathe in as you sweep your arms up and exhale as you sweep them through. You can also rotate your neck as well as take your arms out to the side and twist and turn. You can also start to swing your arms across your body and really in any direction that feels good for your body. Starting to connect with that breath, connect that breath to that movement, and bring your awareness into that body. Enjoy moving here for about 10 more seconds. Next up, we got spinal waves. So on all fours, you begin to breathe in as you drop that back and look up. And as you exhale, push that back and round it through. Again, breathe in, drop that back, look up, exhale, round it through. As you get comfortable and familiar with this, you can start to bring that motion into different planes, sinking your body back and forward, continuing that rhythm of breathing in, looking up, exhaling as you round that back and push through. Use a nice spine and chest opening variation. Drop that elbow to the opposite side and then bring it up as you continue to look at your elbow, turning that chest outward. Use it on the other side as well. Next up, we got 90-90 hip swivels. So with your legs posted at 90 degrees, and plant your hands behind you and swivel the hips to the other side, finding a nice stretch through those hips and that outer butt. Trying to keep those feet planted as you swivel those hips. You may also swing the leg out to switch sides. Another variation, you can rock up onto one knee with the power of your hips and your core and add some reaches there. We got about 50 more seconds with these movements. Good. Next up, we got rotational reaches. So from a kneeling position, you're going to take one hand and plant it behind you, post it behind you, and with that opposite side hand, you're going to reach around, bending that back and turning that spine. Make sure you keep proper breathing mechanics through these movements. Inhale and exhale through that nose, slow and controlled. You can have your feet planted or lying flat. It is up to you. You can also add some reaches where you're just reaching your arms back behind. You can go from a high kneeling position, keeping strength through that core and through those arms. Nice. Finish up your last reach. And next up, we got rocking and rolling. So lie on your back with your feet up and knees up in the air. You're going to start rocking up into a seated position. You can add some reaches. You can also rock up onto one knee. Add some hip openers, bringing that knee to the ground, opening and closing that hip. But ultimately, just rocking and rolling around your mat in whatever pattern and whatever way works for you. Start to connect with that body and start to become aware of what feels good for you at this moment. So often we get caught in this idea that fitness and working out has to be some strenuous activity that we neglect to connect that mind with that body, and also start to become more aware of how truly freeing and liberating movement can truly be. All right, great job. Next up, we got kneeling get-ups. So from a kneeling position, you can put your hands right in front of your knees and sink your hips back so you're sitting on your heels, using the strength of your core as well as your legs and hips. You can then go up into standing, bring it up into standing, and perform different variations of lunges with some reaches, making sure to maintain strength through those legs and activation in your core as you move. And as you move here and flow here, it's also a great time to check in with your breath, recognize if it's fast and shallow and up in your upper chest, or if you're truly getting full, nice, coherent breaths down into those lower ribs, maintaining a nice breathing rhythm in and out through that nose. Finish your last kneeling get up, and next up we have swing jumps. So from a one leg position, you're going to swing and jump to the other side of that mat, trying to focus on sticking that landing with strength and balance. Once you get comfortable with these jumps and this movement, you can start to take those jumps into different planes, twisting and turning as you jump, and trying to hit different angles with each jump. You can also add these toe touches as you come to the end, again hinging down with strength through the movement. Enjoy jumping around for the next 20 seconds. Awesome work. Next up, we got hand-foot crawl. So from a quadrupedal position, with your knees hovering slightly above the ground, hips at about head and shoulder height, you're going to take one hand and the opposite foot, pick them up, and hold for a count or two, keeping strong activation in the core and also power through the arm that's pressed down. Once you get comfortable, you can start to move around your mat and start to add different variations to the movement, such as this down dog, taking the leg up to the sky and sweeping it through to touch the elbow. You can also rotate into an inverted crawl. Really make these movements your own. You can also use shuffle crawl, where you're placing your hands out to the side of you and jumping to the other side of your mat, using the strength through your shoulders and the arms pressed down to move. Next up, we got bridge swings and reaches. So from an inverted position, you're going to place your hands and feet on the ground, and you can start to swing your hips towards your heels and also back in between your arms. You can also post one arm down, take the other to the sky, and reach overhead. Again, good time to check in with your breath. Make sure that you're breathing smoothly in and out through that nose, and that you're matching your movements to your breath. Breath plays such a vital role on how we get and utilize energy in our body. And so by ensuring that we're breathing properly and that we can maintain somewhat of control over our breath, we can ensure that we're maintaining somewhat of a control over our energy, which can help with performance with any strenuous activity. Good. Next up, we got squat shifting. So from a squat position, start to shift and rotate those hips to hit different angles and really feel the stretch through the hamstrings and through those hips. Make sure you stay strong and rooted through those legs, and that you're moving in angles that you can feel a nice stretch, but that don't overstress you or cause any pain or harm. Enjoy squatting, shifting, and lunging for about the next 20 seconds. Great work. Now we're going to take it down. We're going to get into deep hinge or down dog into prone stretch. Inhaling as we enter each position, exhaling as we transition to the next. From down dog, press that chest towards those knees and lift that butt to the sky. You can also take one leg to the sky, step it through into a deep lunge stretch, planting one hand down on the inside of your foot and sweeping that inside hand back to get a nice stretch through those outside hips. Here it is again, taking that leg to the sky, sweeping it through, lifting that inside hand and sweeping it through a full range of motion, feeling a nice stretch through those hips. Great work. Now we're going to take it to the ground and get into long and cross leg stretch. Start to really slow down that breath so we can start to calm that body down, slow that heart rate, and get into more of a recovery and relaxed mode. From cross-legged, pull those hips down, pull those knees down, and incorporate some reaches. From long sit, reach by pulling yourself forward from your hips. You can also add this reaching overhead. Make sure to hit each side as equally as possible. Great work, and that wraps up the movement portion of the practice. Now we're going to go ahead and get into some breath work. We're going to be doing the waterfall breath practice. So breathing in for a 4 count, and then you're going to breathe out for a 6 count, but splitting that up in thirds. So breathe in for 4, out for 2, pause, out for 2, pause, out for 2, pause, and then take a breath back in. You can go from kneeling, you can go from cross-leg sitting, doesn't really matter, but make sure your spine can be aligned and straight, and you can breathe deeply into those lower ribs and lungs. This breath practice is great for any time that you're wanting to get in a more relaxed and restful state or calm your mind and body down. The slow breathing with extended exhales promotes more of that parasympathetic nervous system activation, putting you in more of a rest and digest state, which is great anytime after any strenuous activity or any stressful activity to bring you back more into balance. We'll be breathing at this rhythm for about the next 5 minutes. Whenever you catch your mind drifting from your breath, just become aware of it and bring it right back to the breath. No need to hold judgment over your wandering mind. Just help return it back to the breath. And that's it. Great work. You can start to move your body. And whenever you're ready, you can roll up and get on with the rest of your day. I appreciate you coming out and moving with me. Have a good one.